All right. Hello, everyone. Good evening to all of you. How are you doing? No, I'm very thrilled to be joining you virtually all the way here from Davao City. I guess ito po yung power ng digitalization as I am able to add value wherever you are located. And I'd like to welcome our 12 participants right now. I'd like to thank you for spending your Tuesday evening with us before the holiday tomorrow by attending this webinar about Perfect Your Portfolio, Easy Ways to Balance Your Investments. And tonight, I will teach you how to maximize returns by minimizing risk. Now, before we dive in, let me introduce myself first. I consider myself one of the lucky ones in life kasi pagkapanganak ko pa lang, meron na agad akong bilyones. Ako pala si JP Bilyones. I used to have an above average paying job pero for some reason hindi ko ako nakapag-ipon ng pera. And worse, I was even drowning in debt. However, other people didn't seem to have any problem when it comes to handling their finances. So I asked myself, ano ba yung ginagawa ng mga taong may pera na hindi ginagawa ng mga taong baon sa utang? And that question led me to become a personal finance and investment literacy advocate. Yung passion and purpose in life ko is to help more Filipinos like you appreciate the value of saving their hard-earned money and consider investing to achieve their financial goals. I currently serve as the Business Development Section Head for the Mindanao Desk of First Metro Securities, the stock brokerage house of the Metro Bank Group. And as you can see from my professional certifications, my circle of competence revolves around the topics saving, budgeting, financial goal setting, investing in stocks, pooled funds, bonds, and active trading using technical analysis. This year, I also became a bona fide member of the Finance Educators Association. Now, over the years, I've had the privilege of working with First Metrosec, where our goal is not just about financial success, but also about empowering individuals like yourself with the knowledge and tools necessary to make informed investment decisions. Most especially as po from the Business Development and Market Education team, we have these opportunities to inspire people to upgrade their money management skills and create awareness of investment opportunities that are legitimate, affordable, and accessible. Now, our market education efforts aim to bridge the gap between complexity and understanding, lalo na po to those people na hindi masyado or bago pa lang sa world of investments. Now, this ensures you that you not only grasp the fundamentals, but also feel confident in applying them to your own saving and investing strategies. Now, before we start this learning journey together tonight, I'd like to know a bit more about you. So, can you guys chat? Where are you joining us from tonight? Sige nga, what city are you joining us today? Sige nga, can you please chat? Let me see the chat box. We have 17 participants. Ayan, we have people here from San Fernando, Pampanga, people from Calamba City, we have people from Quezon City. Yan, meron pa akong kababayan no, from Davao. Yan, welcome po. Another person from Manila, Quezon Province, Pasig. Yan. About the others, you're 19 already tonight. Yan, thank you for being very interactive. Ayan, another familiar name no, for tonight. Thank you for always being here with us. I see many familiar names tonight. Now, it's really incredible to see no, na it's a very diverse audience from different parts of the Philippines. No? Wala lang akong nakita ngayon OFW no, kasi most of them are from Philippines, wala pang from other countries. But it's nice to see that you're coming here together to explore the world of finances. Now, sa First Metrosec po, we acknowledge that this is the demographics of stock market investors in the Philippines. Ito kaka-update lang as of 2023. Now, ayan, more people from Davao, no? Yan, I think this client actually went to our office recently. Getting back to the presentation, for a country with over 100 million in population, let me pull out my laser pointer. of opening. But anyways, you see there that for a country with over 100 million in population, there's already an increase, no? We already have 1.9 million stock market accounts. Most of them at 1.5 million have actually online accounts. Now, when you look at the employment status, 75% of them are locally employed, pero meron na rin gaining interest from OFWs and even students. So you see, even students are actually starting to invest in the stock market. Now, when you look at the overall distribution, majority are still from Metro Manila at 68.2%, but the rest of the country has yet to catch up. Even where I am based, no, dito sa Davao, which is part of Mindanao, we only represent 5.5%. So that's an uptick from last year's 2.5%. For ito, hopefully with our efforts, medyo nakatulong kami sa pag-increase nito. Now, if I may ask our attendees tonight, how about you? Meron na ba kayong stock trading or any form of investment account? Please share a quick yes or no sa chat. And if yes, I'd like to know what investment account or stock broker you are using. So, let me see. Para makilala ko naman kayo. Sige. Let's see, wag na po kayong mahiya. Yan, yes. First Metrosec now. And some of them are chatting to the host and families lang. No? Yan. Itong very familiar client, FMS, syempre. Thank you so much for using our service, sir. I hope this at your, yung up to your standard. Yan, some of you, hindi lang isa yung broker nila, they also have accounts with our friendly competitor. No? So kami, we welcome that. No? But at least you'll have exposure. Some people here are still considering, sabi nila dito, none yet, but hopefully soon. Yan. So, and some people really, doble, no? Two, dalawa. They have a first Metrosec account, tapos friendly competitor namin. No? And I think he also has a mutual fund or UITF with one of our fund partners. Ayan. Ito I think is a fund din, itong sinabi ni Anne, no? But yun lang, we don't distribute their funds, no? But yeah, we're very familiar. All right. So most of you are saying yes, no? Siguro yung hindi sumagot, nahiya lang magsabi ng no, no? But whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting out, I hope you learn a lot from our discussion tonight. Now, before we delve into the key aspects ng portfolio management, I want to share with you some highlights from my experience. Now, schools and academic organizations actually tap us to educate students how to manage money effectively so that they become financially stable and start building assets at a young age. Now, here are some photos from my engagement with University of the Philippines, University of Mindanao, Ateneo de Davao University, and various JCPAP chapters and sub-organizations. Now, also government agencies like Department of Trade and Industry, the Bureau of Fire Protection, Department of Education, Bureau of Treasury, and Embassy of the Philippines collaborate with us to promote financial literacy. We are also regularly invited by private institutions like Greenwich, Jollibee, Deloitte, to guide them to handle financial challenges and make informed decisions, and hopefully achieve greater financial stability and security. Now, overall, no, I've had the privilege of conducting seminars for the general public via internal sessions like this or external contributions. And that actually no, segues us back to our webinar this evening, which is Perfect Your Portfolio, wherein I will teach you how to maximize returns by minimizing risk. Now, you're probably excited to learn already. So if you have questions regarding the presentation, feel free to ask in the Q&A of the Zoom panel. We will answer them later during the live Q&A portion after the presentation. And this presentation, medyo ano siya, no, interactive because later meron tayong activity. So I hope you have your mobile phones ready because we'll do a little bit of exercise. Right? Here another late message na mo. Sabi niya, I just signed up yesterday with first Metrosec. So thank you for that. So let me know pala no, kung ongoing pa yung applications ninyo. You can PM me your application reference numbers para ma-follow up pa ng status niya. But you can actually complete that via email lang or via our mobile. Alright? So buckle up, guys, and let's get started. Right? So this evening, we're going to talk about the following. So first, what are the different types of risk? Second, how do we manage that inherent risk? Now, again, guys, no, when it comes to investing, inherent talaga yung risk. No? For us to be able to maximize our returns, we are finding ways to minimize our risk. And lastly, we're going to go through the portfolio management process wherein you're going to learn how to plan, execute, and evaluate your performance. So even though this is a little bit of a intermediate level na discussion, I'll try to make it as simple as possible to say this is a beginner na level session. Alright? So can you please type ready if you're ready? Yeah. Let me check. We already have 21 participants tonight. Please type ready if you're good. Yan. Love it when our audience is very interactive. Thank you so much. Ito lang yung pag online yung session kasi I do not see you, no? So yan, looking forward if ever magkaroon tayo ng on-site sessions para at least we'll get to interact with each other. All right. So first, let's talk about risk. So yung risk po is the probability that our investment's expected return will deviate from the actual return. So when investing, we are inherently taking on risk. So there's no such thing as a risk-free investment. Again, let me repeat that. There's no such thing as a risk-free investment. There is always risk. So it can only be low risk, medium risk, or high risk. So for varying levels of risk, there's a direct correlation with the expected returns from that investment. But even though we have good return expectations, it may still deviate from the actual returns. Again po, even though we have good return expectations, it may still deviate from the actual returns. This goes for all investment asset classes, be it money market, bonds, or stocks. And you may even lose some or all your original investment, and that is what we call risk. Okay, sige nga. For our attendees, please type that risk. Right? Sabi nga ni Benjamin Graham, successful investing is about managing risk, not avoiding it. Because when it comes to investing, risk is inherent. Okay? Now, there are actually different types of risk associated with investing in various securities. And we're going to discuss the most common when we are investing in bonds and stocks. Okay? Now, first off, we're going to talk about market risk. So, market risk is the possibility that the investment's value will decrease due to market moving factors. So, in essence po, yung prices, they move due to interplay of supply and demand. So again, supply and demand is between your buyers and your sellers. So first scenario, prices tend to increase when there's great demand from buyers. No? Kung mataas po yung demand from buyers pero wala masyadong supply sa market, prices tend to increase because investors are not inclined to sell their shares. Now, on the other hand, no, when prices tend to decrease, investors are actually disposing their shares, increasing the supply sa market. So, ang daming shares willing to be sold sa market, pero wala masyadong demand from the buyers, prices tend to decrease. And this market risk is actually inherent both, no? Mapa-stocks man yan or mapa-bonds, they have market risk. Why? Because these securities or investments are traded in the secondary market. Sa stocks, you have stock market. When you have bonds, you have bond market. Okay? Pero itong market risk for people who are actually, for example, sa bonds, if they are holding it up until maturity, medyo hindi masyado nila ito tinitingnan itong market risk. Pero kahit na, meron pa rin yung market risk because nagbabago yung presyo niya sa secondary market because of supply and demand. Now, itong mga market moving factors, it can be company or even industry specific. Depende sa condition ng company or industry. Now, for you to have a better appreciation of this, I prepared here a chart. So this is the price chart of Robinsons Retail Holdings Incorporated from 2016 to early 2020s. Now, when you look at the price chart in 2016, RRHI actually earmarked 5 billion pesos to expand the business. They plan to put up 200 new stores, which are mostly convenience stores and supermarkets. Now, after that, they also acquired 51% stake in the generics pharmacy. Since they also, now if you remember, they acquired Southstar Drug in 2012. When they acquired 51% stake in PGT, this strengthened their retail drugstore network sa Philippines. Now, with these positive developments, ang mga buyers, they buoyed the stock price from 60 pesos to an all-time high of around 100 pesos. Yan makikita niyo dyan, yung green line. However, the company reported a negative net income during the third quarter of 2017 because of low household consumption. And of course, this is a bad news for existing shareholders, so maraming naglighten sa kanilang positions. Now, furthermore, it also reported lower earnings during the first quarter of 2019. So that happened after it consolidated with Rostax. Now, because of this, there was selling pressure and it weighed down RRHI stock price from 100 pesos to 70 pesos. So that's what happened. Tapos furthermore, nagka-pandemic pa no, noong 2020. So medyo nag-dip yung presyo to the 50s. But again, the price has actually evolved at the present, so you may check out sa respective. But this is just me sharing to you the price chart of RRHI showing you sa mga relevant news na nangyari sa kanya in the past that have direct impact on its stock price. Right? So I hope nakikita niyo, no? Positive news buoys the price to higher levels. Negative news weighs down on the price. So that is what we call market risk. And yung companies natin na invest na natin, they go through different cycles. Okay, so I hope that was insightful for you. Next, we're going to talk about inflationary risk. So ito naman po, this is the possibility that the investment return will be less than the inflation rate. No? This is the primary reason, di ba, bakit tayo nag-i-invest? Either in stocks or in bonds, we invest in them with expectations to grow our money and also beat inflation. Pero let's accept it, no, na yung investment return natin may be lower than the inflation rate. So kaya may dalawa tayong tawag na rates of return. May tinatawag tayo ng nominal return and the real return. So for example, nag-invest ka sa portfolio that generated an annual return of 10% for 2022. That 10% is your nominal return. So from this, we're going to deduct, no? Pagtingin mo sa data, the average inflation for 2022 was 5.8%. So if you're going to deduct 5.8% from 10%, we get a real return of only 4.2%. No? Kasi kahit kumita yung pera natin ng 10%, inflation diminished the purchasing power of our money by 5.8% that year. So hindi talaga 10% yung kita natin kasi kinain ng inflation ng 5.2%. So 10 minus 5.8, we are left with 4.2% na real return. So again, that's the difference. No? And for me, mas mabigat yung real return kaysa nominal return. Right? We need to beat inflation and that should be deducted from the nominal return para makuha natin yung real return. Now, just to give you an insight, no, this is the inflation print. No? It inched up from April 2024's 3.8%. For some reason, hindi malabas yung ayan, may pointer open. Ayan. Ayan, para mas makita. Now, makita niyo dito that yung inflation print natin inched up, no, from April 3.8%. Umakyat siya ng konti to 3.9%. That is as of last May 2024. So, slight uptick lang. This is slightly lower, no? Consensus estimated inflation for May to be around 4%, pero 3.9% na yung actual. And the good thing about this is that it is actually in line with PSP's forecast range of 3.7% to 4.5%. So, may monthly forecast yan si PSP and pasok siya doon sa estimate ni PSP. Now, overall, ang target range talaga ng government is between these two bands. No? This is the 2% lower band and the 4% na upper band. This is the target inflation ng government na for them, this is healthy levels of inflation. No? Parang tinitingnan natin si inflation na negative siya for our investments, pero kailangan din yung inflation in order to fuel growth ng country natin. Pero again, that growth should not be uh, very high levels. Kasi 'di ba, like for example, nung sagsagan ng post-pandemic, yung inflation natin it shot up to 8% above. Diba? I think it went as high as 8.7%. Now, for now, the year-to-date average inflation is nasa 3.5%, and we'll see no how things will unfold later no, toward the rest of the year kasi May pa naman to. This is May. Ang point ko lang dito guys is that in order for us to have a positive real return, our nominal return should always be your nominal return, it should always be higher than your average inflation rate for a certain year. Like last year, if I'm not mistaken, the average inflation was at 6%. So if your portfolio did not perform higher than 6%, wala kang real return or your real return is negative. So the goal always is to beat inflation because yan lang yung real return. Now, walang return talaga if na-diminish pa din yung value natin. But again, buti na lang yun, tumubo yung pera natin, underperforming na siya, more so if hindi natin siya invest. Now, for better appreciation, no, I prepared here another study. No? You can see here that if we invested, let's say, 100,000 pesos in 1-year time deposit, 1-year treasury bill, though this is not that available to the public yet, 5-year treasury bonds, ito pwede, and the Philippine Stock Exchange in 2000, the question here is, how much will it be thereafter? So this is our study period from 2000 to 2023. So itong black line po, this is the performance of your time deposit. The red line is the performance of your treasury bill. The blue line is the performance of your treasury bonds. The green line is the performance of your PSPI or the index. And your yellow line is the performance of your inflation. Now, as you can see from the long term, stocks have healthier growth and higher rate of return, no? Siya yung pinakataas yung returns over this long period of time. So this has a higher rate of return over the long term compared to common investment alternatives. Most importantly, natalo niya rin yung inflation. And it was able to grow our hard-earned money historically. So again, this is your PSCI, this is your inflation. As you can also observe from the graph, may mga periods din talaga, no? Even though top performing si stocks mo, pero hindi din always, not all the time na top performing siya kasi may periods din na nag-underperform din yung stocks with other investment alternatives. No? Lalo na doon sa simula. Because earlier, panalo yung ibang investment alternatives compared to other stocks. Dito natin nakikita ang importance ng diversification na even though aggressive investors tayo, we might consider adding some bonds to our portfolio to provide stability and regular income. Dagdag din tayo ng exposure to money market, into treasury bills or time deposit kasi not all the time nag-outperform si stocks. Okay? So, the good thing about that is that through First Metrosec, you can, at some level, diversify to some of these asset classes. Alright? So, yeah. So, that is your inflation risk. Please makita natin yung importance niya and value ng different investments for these types. Alright? So, as discussed from the previous slide, yung inflation moves interest rates. Kasi syempre, pag lalo na yung inflation, di ba? What if nagsushoot up siya above the target range ng government? Then, ang role ng BSP is price stabilization. And they don't want that overheating economy na ang taas ng inflation kasi again, it's a tough, 'di ba? Na experience yun na may time na ang mahal ng gasolina, 'di ba? May time na umabot ng 90 pesos per liter, no? So medyo ang hirap, no? Hirap nung panahon na yun kasi mas mahal dumalaw. Now, ang isang mandate ng BSP is to actually curb inflation, and they have what we call this role na pwede nila i-increase or i-decrease yung key interest rate ng country. So again, inflation moves interest rates. As inflation goes up, high or up, they can temper that inflation by increasing interest rate as well. So nagagalaw din yung interest rate ng country based sa inflation. So we have what we call the interest rate risk. So this is the possibility that the investment's value will decrease due to changes sa interest rates. Okay, so may mga investments kasi out there na sensitive siya to interest rate movements, no? Lalo na po sa fixed income or bond investments. Kasi may inverse, no, relationship. Again, there's an inverse relationship between bond prices and interest rates. So when interest rates are increasing, bond prices tends to decline kasi inverse relationship. Pero on the other hand, when interest rates are falling, bond prices tends to go higher. So we have that relationship na we can actually take advantage if we want to earn capital appreciation sa bond market. So you can tactically do this, no? If you want to earn capital appreciation, you, no, in times na or periods na interest rates are falling, this may be a good time to increase exposures in bonds. Now, if you want to lock in naman high interest rates, maganda din siya to do it when the central banks are implementing monetary policy tightening cycles and rates are expected to peak. Kasi syempre, if bumili ka rin ng bagong bond issued during that time na mataas yung interest rate niya, you can lock in that high rate, lalo na if your expectation is bababa yung interest rate in the future, then you can lock in at that high rate. So, yeah. So, that's how you can take advantage of movement of the interest rate. Now, just to give you an update as well, here's the updated graph of the 10-year Philippine bond yield. No, during the pandemic, no, napansin nyo, there were little to no business activity. So, walang choice yung BSP but to lower interest rates. No? This was during the pandemic. And they did this to stimulate the economy. Kasi syempre, di ba, kung mas mababa yung interest rate, mas inclined na humiram ng pera yung businesses and almost everybody. And when that happens, that can stimulate the economy. Now, when interest rates decline, people are more likely inclined to take on debt. So, pag nangyari to, money flows in the system. So, ito nakita natin yung bond yields. When you look again, this is the BSP interest rate. Let's look at it in the bond yield perspective. This is the bond yield. What happened here was that it dropped from around 5% noong 2020. Ayan. Yeah. It dropped from 5% to around 2.7%. Okay, during this time na bumaba yung interest rate. Now, post-pandemic, let's look at post-pandemic, inflation rose way above BSP's target range, as I discussed a while ago. So they had to raise interest rates as well. Kasi ngayon, inflation is going very hot. So to pull it down, they had to raise interest rates. And ito medyo dramatic yung passion na pag-increase nila ng rates. Because they had to do this because umabot naman ng 8% yung inflation. Now, you can see here that bond yields followed suit and it rallied as high as 7.4%. Okay? Now again, medyo may inverse relationship yan, yung bond yield and bond prices. Kasi di ba, pag tumataas yung yield mo, ibig sabihin mo, yung bond prices mo, will decrease. As I mentioned kanina, there's an inverse relationship between those two. Now, currently, the bond yields are stabilizing at around 6.2%. Okay? Yeah. There's an update for you for appreciation of the concept. And here, this is the impact of the interest rate on the bond prices or the bond yield. Pero ito naman yung impact niya to the Philippine stock market. But for this study, what we compared here is the performance of PH equities market during Fed easing cycles. So not necessarily with the BSP but with the US Fed. Now, ang anticipation namin when our research team actually superimpose the data between the performance of the market, itong dark red, against with this cream na line. This is the Fed, Fed funds rate. So, makikita namin dito that ang historically, there will be market rallies driven by policy cuts. No? So, di ba, pag nakikita niyo dito, pag panahon na nagka-cut ng rates ang Fed, medyo nagkakaroon ng slight market rallies yung market. For example, here, nag-cut siya ng rate, medyo may slight uptick siya. However, history will tell us that these rallies are often short-lived, no? Pansin niyo, hindi masyado nasusustain. And the market then underperforms until a cyclical recovery takes hold. And mapapansin din ninyo, usually nagra-rally na yung market if nag-bottom na yung interest rate from the Fed. So, di ba, pag bottom dito, bago pa nag-rally yung market, here, pag start niya, may slight uptick, pero hinintay mo na nag-bottom yung rates bago nag-rally. So, may ganun na relationship for now. And therefore, we recommend that you stay cautious on policy rate cuts for now and better to wait for signs of a cyclical recovery. Okay? So yan lang. Just insights with regards to interest rate risk in bonds and stock. Now, next, let's talk about liquidity risk. So ito yung possibility that an investor will not be able to convert investments into cash as required. As investors, magkakaiba tayo ng liquidity requirements. So we have to take this into consideration as we need to liquidate our investments when we need it already. And when we need that is different from investor A to investor B. If we have significant holdings, it will serve us best if our investment is liquid, so it will be easier to turn into cash. No? Yan yung challenge. Paminsan, swerte yung mga retail kasi sa liit ng fund, ang daling gumalaw. Diba? Pero pag malaki na yung fund mo, nalilimit yung universe mo because of this liquidity risk. Now, one metric for liquidity is what we call market capitalization. Itong market capitalization, you can conveniently find this from your First Metrosec platform. All you need to do is to navigate. No? You just go to stocks, quotes, then stocks. Then you go to analytics, then you go to shares. Makikita mo dyan yung market capitalization. Now, when you look at the PSI, no, when I took the screenshot of this, I think this was a few months ago na, SM has the biggest market capitalization, which is already over a trillion. So again, yung market capitalization, it's just your shares outstanding multiplied by your market price. So that's how you calculate your market capitalization. Now, that is on the big side. No? Tingnan naman natin yung other side of the market. Na yung other side of the market, makikita mo dito sa baba, you have MHP. Again, this is for educational purposes lang, no? Para makita niyo yung other side of the coin. Makikita niyo dito that MAHP has a market capitalization of only 80 million. No? Di ba ang layo ng spread doon from 80 million to 1 trillion. No? So essentially, for this stock, you can buy all outstanding shares if you only have 80 million. So sobrang untik niyan. No? So pag nakikita niyo to, lalo na sa tail end ng list, ito yung mga stocks that are relatively illiquid. Mas magalaw siya, pero ang hirap if medyo malaki yung portfolio mo. No? Because imagine 80 million medyo compared mo to 1 trillion, uh, sobrang layo ng spread niya. Okay? Now, for us to have more insight on a stock's liquidity, market capitalization is one, but you can actually look at its spreads ano no sa bid and ask volume. Sige. From our previous na discussion, let's try to compare SM and MAH. Okay? So if you want, no, tingnan mo dito. This is SM, no? Tingnan natin yung bid and bid bid side ng SM. Kasi nga, 'di ba, kung magbebenta tayo ng SM, ibebenta natin to people who are willing to buy. And the buyers are actually in the bid side. Now, pag tiningnan mo yung top 10 prices, ito, and top 10 prices, no? And the top 10 volumes, ito siya. If you multiply all of that, itong top 10, kailangan mo dito ng 60 million worth of SM shares, no? Itong top 10 na bid na levels. On the other hand, if you want to sell MAH, no, pag tiningnan mo yung bid side, nakikita mo konti lang siya. No? 3 lang, hindi nga umabot ng 10 levels. Eh. So the top 3 prices and the top 3 volumes, if you multiply those, you only need to sell around 270,000 worth of each. Now, ang challenge dito is what if meron kang 10 million worth of this stock? Now, paano mo mabibenta yun if yung available na buyers worth 270,000 lang yung kaya nilang bibili? So, dito natin nakikita yung liquidity, mga liquidity risk. So again, no, yung liquidity risk, this is the possibility na hindi natin mabenta or hindi natin ma-convert yung investments natin into cash as required and as we needed. So as an investor, that's something you can consider. Kasi I'm not telling you naman not to invest in this, only invest in this, but depende sa portfolio ninyo, sometimes it unlocks you different types of investments. Paminsan, pag malaki yung fund mo, syempre, malilimit ka. Kasi paminsan, what if masyadong konti itong liquidity risk? So again, liquidity risk, let's put that into perspective. You don't want to put yourself in a position lang na hindi mo mabenta yung position mo kasi konti lang yung liquidity ng stock na yun. Okay? And you know that medyo ano ka, mataas yung liquidity risk. It's okay, but you acknowledge that you have high liquidity risk. And when you acknowledge that, you understand your circumstance and the risk you are taking. Okay? Yeah. Lastly, no, talking about this, let's talk about credit risk. So itong credit risk naman po, this is the possibility that the borrower or issuer will not be able to pay the interest and give back the principal. Now, one of the benchmarks to check credit risk is the credit rating given by different agencies. No? So, sa mga foreign markets, usually you can see their S&P, Moody's, Fitch, and dito sa Philippines, we have what we call Phil ratings. And makikita mo dito yung table of their respective ratings para malaman natin either they are investment grade or junk bond. If I'm not mistaken, these are itong ratings na to, these are still investment grade, pero it can be high, medium, or low investment grade. Pero yung mga lower dito, yung mga letter C, rating, usually yan, but here's the ano, as you all know, there's a risk return na trade-off. Diba? So yung mga investment grade funds, they might offer relatively lower interest rates, pero yung credit risk niya is also relatively lower. So mas mataas yung probability na mababalik sa iyo. This is very important, lalo na po if you invest kayo sa bonds. No? There's a higher probability, pag mataas yung reputation, mas mataas yung probability that they will be able to, number one, pay you with the interest regularly and give you back the principal. Kasi yun yung promise ng bond. No? Pinapautang mo yung government or big corporations for this interest rate for this specific term or maturity. Right? And for example, ito, previous run na Robinsons Land Corporation bond, 10 billion worth, no, makikita mo, they have 3-year and 5-year bonds. Uh, Makikita mo the longer the tenor, usually mas mataas yung interest rate because you're putting your money at risk for a longer period of time. So normally, they have higher interest rate. And you expect to receive these interest payments quarterly. So itong rate niya divided by 4 less interest tax, yan yung matatanggap mo quarterly. And for bonds, ang recommendation niya talaga is look at the bond rating. So for this RLC bond, this was way back, I think, last year pa siguro, if I'm not mistaken. This is PRS AAA. So when you look at AAA, nandito yan. So nasa high end ng investment grade bond with a stable outlook by Phil rating. So yan, dyan yung makikita. So syempre, mas gusto natin yung higher credit rating. Again, pag magtaas yung credit rating, then lower ang interest rate usually. You can get higher interest rate, pero yun, you might be investing in a risky na bond. You run the risk na hindi nila mababayaran yung interest payment mo continuously up until maturity, and you might run the risk as well na hindi ka nila mababayaran. Okay? So yan. So that is, I guess, that's all the risks that I was slated to discuss. So in summary, ito po yung mga risks associated with securities. You have market risk, you have inflation risk, you have interest rate risk, you have liquidity risk, and you have credit risk. Actually, mas marami pa, no? There are more risks out there. But for the purposes of our discussion tonight, I guess this is more than right. And to cap off our discussion for this first part, it's still quite early. Don't worry, you'll learn a lot more pa towards the second half. Let's just remember now that we can never take out all risk. There will always be risk. Ang job natin as investors is to manage that risk. Okay, so I hope that it's planted to your investment brains. Hindi mo talaga mazizero ang risk because in the first place, there's no risk-free investment. There will always be risk. Kaya ang i-manage natin as investors is to manage risk. And for me, this is the primary role of investors. No? But usually, naririnig mo sa mga tao is that yung tinatanong nila is just to kitaan. But for me, secondary yung returns. First, look at your risk tolerance. Kasi baka gusto mo yung level of returns ng investment mo yun, pero baka hindi mo kaya yung risk involved to get that level of return. Or baka hindi mo kaya hintay yung number of years for the appropriate time horizon for you to be able to maximize that investment. So, I hope you remember this. Quote, we can never take out all risk. There will always be risk. Our job as investors is to manage the risk. Right? So, and so I hope that's a good way to cap off our first half of this discussion. Now, before we move to the second half of the presentation of this evening, I'll give you a 5-minute break so you can go to the CR or drink a cup of water. And for the second half of our presentation, I like to ask you as well to download itong app na to, for our activity. So this is a free financial calculator that I personally use. And may QR codes dyan from the Google Play Store or Apple App Store, depende sa phones ninyo. And gagamitin natin to for our discussion sa second. Alright, so I'll give you 5 minutes. It's 6:40 on my watch. See you 6. See you in a bit. Thank you. And if you're back no, from the 5-minute break, let me know. Type nila yung back. So I'll know that most of you are back. Alright, ayan. 30 minutes. Alright, see you in 5 minutes. Right, 2 minutes remaining. So if you're back, so please download na lang yung app that you will use for the activity natin for the second quarter. Right? And I hope makatulong sa inyo itong app na to because I'll be sharing with you one feature na relevant for our discussion that you can find more. Alright, last minute. And if you're back, please type back para malaman ko that you're already back. Ayan, thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Daisy. Thank you, Christian. Ayan, thank you, Marilyn. Thank you, Madeline. Thank you, Reza. Alright, few seconds left. I hope you already downloaded that. Again, this is for educational purposes already. Thank you, Paul. Thank you. All right. It's 6:45 on my watch. I guess we can start already. So I hope you enjoyed that break and let's get right to it. All right. So I hope na download niyo na po yung app that we will be using. And I think we already gave you enough time as well for the break. Now, for the first part, I talked about the risk involved in securities, be it stocks or bonds. Now, let's talk about portfolio management. Muna ko po yung discussion on risk because as investors, we minimize that risk para ma-maximize natin yung potential returns ng investments. Now, for the portfolio management part, so we're talking about here of our growth fund. No? Yung fund natin that we want to grow over a long period of time. Now, usually niyan sa growth fund, maganda talaga to have a mix between bonds and stocks sa portfolio. Now, ang tanong ngayon, how do we actually manage our growth portfolio? Now, if I may ask na lang yung attendees natin right now, do you have, yung portfolio nyo ba, do you have both bonds and stocks? Sige na, ano lang, I just want to check the pulse ng audience natin. Sa portfolios ninyo, sa growth portfolios ninyo, do you have both bonds and stocks? Yan, I'm getting answers already. Meron daw both. Okay, how about the others? Or stocks lang tayo lahat? Stocks pa daw? Okay, stocks pa lang po. Stocks in the Philippines. Ayan. Majority of you, puro stocks lang, no? But okay lang yan siya if you're quite young. But for me, I've been there. I've been in that stage na sabi ko ng sarili ko, I'm an aggressive investor, I'm still young. So, all of my portfolio are in stocks. Pero for some reasons, I'm not sure what happened, pero before the pandemic, hindi ko alam na magkakaroon ng pandemic, but before the pandemic happened, it just came to me na parang, sige, try ko nga mag-add ng bonds sa portfolio. Kasi from the research that I do, from the studies that I do, yung growth portfolio nila is really a mix between bonds and stocks. And so, but that time, hindi ko pa talaga ma-appreciate yung bonds. Kasi parang sabi ko, parang wala naman ko masyadong kikita dyan. Kasi fixed interest rate, parang hindi pa ako excited with that type of investments. But buti na lang na-try ko, no? Kasi when pandemic happened, majority of my portfolio are still in stock. So since all of them went down, ang lala ng performance ng portfolio ko, no? Pero buti na lang, meron akong exposure. No? Nagsimula na akong mag-expose ng portfolio ko doon sa bonds. And what I realized is that bonds provided my portfolio stability. Kasi yung bonds na yun, hindi ko naman, I'm not trading the bonds. I'm just holding it until maturity. So hindi masyado na-apektuhan yung performance ng portfolio ko because I have exposure in bonds. Now, plus, I get regular interest payments from it, though not as much as what I get in stocks. But in difficult times, in the underperforming times of the market, bonds can play some stability to your portfolio. All right. So with that, I come to the part where I discussed portfolio management, which is for now, very basic discussion lang, is a three-step na process. First, we need to make a plan. Second, we execute that plan. And then we evaluate our portfolio performance. So you do that usually quarterly or annually, and you just do this, no? Iteratively, depende sa frequency that you like. And you just continuously improve and as you progress in life. Kasi hindi naman straight line in life. No? Minsan nag-shift yung priorities natin. No? So, I hope makatulong ito. Now, talking about portfolio management, yung pagpa-plan talaga starts with our respective na investment objectives and constraints. No? Kasi depende sa investment objectives natin, we will know what is right for us and what is not great for us. As I mentioned kanina, yung prime consideration talaga are the following. Una is your risk tolerance. Ask yourself, are you comfortable in taking on this much risk? No? Kasi if you're not comfortable, you might be exposing yourself to something that pag dip niya, hindi mo kaya pala yung ganun risk, you might sell loss. Diba? Now next, after risk tolerance is your return objectives. You ask yourself, how much annual return do you require? No? Based sa goal mo, no? The way you want to make your money work for you, ano yung annual return na gusto mo? Again, nalilimit yan siya sa risk tolerance mo. Kasi what if yung gusto mong annual return is nasa mataas na rate, pero hindi mo pala kaya yung risk involved with that high return. So you temper your risk with regards to that. So next, time horizon. When do you want to achieve your financial goals? You ask yourself, no, kailan ko ba siya ma-achieve? And actually, from this question pa lang, medyo mapipilter mo na. Kasi let's say, yung goal mo is for your emergency fund. So that means hanggang money market investments ka lang. If your goal is for retirement, not 3 decades from now, then okay for you to invest in stocks. Pero if your goal is somewhere between 5 years or 8 years or 10 years, baka mas magandang option sa'yo yung bonds. Diba? Kasi you can't expose your portfolio to that much risk. Diba? So that's your time horizon. Mapipilter mo na siya. And lastly, very important, no? Liquidity needs. No? Napag-usapan natin kanina about liquidity risk. Kasi you need to ask yourself, how often do you require to withdraw from your portfolio? When do you need the funds? Diba? So, pag kinenta ko ba to, may bibili ba agad sa akin? Diba? So, that is your liquidity needs. Now, with these considerations, I'd like to introduce to you the concept of time value of money. So, ito yung what will enable us to answer questions like, magkano ba yung kailangan kong i-invest? Yung time horizon ko ba? Realistic? Kasi paminsan, if we don't compute it, akala natin kaya, pero hindi pala siya realistic. So, yung time value of money concept, we're considering 5 variables. No? You see there, no? You have present value, interim cash flow, future value, the discount rate, and the compounding periods. So, isa-isahin po natin, no? Yung present value, that is the money that you have right now that we can invest in a specific portfolio. Next, the interim cash flow, that is the money that you intend to invest regularly or withdraw from the portfolio. Next, you have their future value. This is the future amount that you're expecting to receive after investing over a time horizon. Next, you have there the discount rate. Yung discount rate naman po, that is your expected rate of return from your investment. Okay? And lastly, you have their compounding periods. Yan naman po yung number of times or frequency na you'll be investing in your investment portfolio. Okay, so ito medyo academic siya, but for me, dito natin ma-appreciate yung investment objectives natin. Are they really defined? And when you understand the time value of money, this lets you know that your investment goal is actually smart, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. because it answers all those questions. And I think it can be best appreciated if we go right to the application. Okay, so what I want you to do is to open the app that I asked you to download. So when you open the app, this is what you will see. Marami silang calculators there, which ito, papaon nyo lang sa inyo. You can explore that later, no? Because when I learned about this app, ang dami, and this is my usual, no? Like, kesa yung calculator ko lang na normal, mas ginagamit ko to. For the purposes of our discussion tonight, we will be using, since we'll be talking about the time value of money, we click this TVM calculator, that's time value of money calculator. When you click that, this will open up. Pero this is just the basic na time value of money calculator. I want you to go to the advanced. No? Kasi mas madali siya intindihan doon. Okay? Okay. Alright? Now, can you type in okay if you're already in the advanced time value of money calculator? Okay, yeah? Type okay. Right, thank you. Very interactive yung students. Thank you so much. Ito yung gusto ko. Mas masaya sana to kung on-site session, no? Kasi mas makikita ko kayo. Alright, thank you so much. So, let's go right to the first. Para ma-appreciate natin yung mga variables. Let's try to calculate for the present value. No? So, let's say, ito yung goal mo. If you want to have 1 million in 5 years, gusto mo magkaroon ng 1 million in 5 years, how much do you need to invest today in a portfolio that can earn 10% per annum with no additional investment? So ito yung mga components, no? Ito yung mga alam mo, this is your financial status, di ba? So let's start no? From this problem, di ba? Balik tayo sa college natin, high school. This is the problem. What are the given? No? Sige, start tayo with the given. Present value. Ano ba yung present value? Again, as I mentioned kanina, ito yung current na pera mo na pwede mo i-invest right now. When you look at the problem, may sinabi ba siyang, I need your keyboard warriors there, may sinabi ba siya na i-invest today? May sinabi ba siya? Sabi ni Romel, none. Sige, how about the others? Again, present value, yan yung money na i-invest mo today. May sinabi ba sa problem how much that is? None. Because yan yung hinahanap. That is the ask. Okay? Yan yung tinatanong ka, how much do you need to invest today? No? Yan yung tinatanong, kaya wala siya sa top. Good job, guys. Next, interim cash flow. Again, yung definition ng interim cash flow is, yan po yung pera that you're going to invest regularly to that specific fund. Looking at the problem, what is the interim cash flow? May sinabi ba siya dyan na magdadagdag siya ng additional investment? Right? Think about the others. May sinabi ba dyan? Magdadagdag ba siya sa investments niya? No, di ba? The answer there is zero kasi sabi niya dito, with no additional investments. Yes, you're correct, Daisy, no? With no additional investments, kaya zero ang interim cash flow. Next, let's talk about future value. Itong future value, ito yung amount that we want to achieve in the future. Okay nga? Based sa question, ano yung future value? How much do you want to have in the future? Sige. Yan. Sige, keep them coming. Sige. Yan, you're correct. That is 1 million. Yan, sabi niya, if you want to have 1 million, yan yung future value mo. Next, the discount rate. Yung discount rate, yan yung expected rate of return mo. Based sa problem, ano yung expected rate of return sa fund? Sige na. What is your expected rate of return based dito sa problem? May sinabi ba dyan how much the portfolio can earn potentially? Yung answer pa niya dito is 10% PA? Question mark? No, di pa siya sure. Yes, but you are correct. That is the discount rate. That is 10%. That is the expected return of the portfolio. Next, last component, your compounding periods. So, ano yung compounding periods again? Ito yung frequency of your investments or how long you'd like to achieve that certain goal. May time horizon ba na sinabi sa problem? What is the number of years na sinabi dito? Yes, you're correct, James, no? How about the others? Still following ba? Tama, no? 5 years. No? That is the compounding period. Okay. So, we read the problem, we identified the given, alam na natin ano yung hinihingi, paano natin gagamitin yung calculator. Right? So, when you go to your time value of money advanced calculator, again, yung hinahanap is the present value, so leave that blank. The payments, sabi dito, no additional investments, so this is the interim cash flow. You put that 0 kasi wala kang payments, additional investments. Yung future value, no, just to be algebraically correct, you put that negative, no, negative, but you put there 1 million. Okay? Now, the expected rate of return of your portfolio is nasa 10%. So, the rate percentage, this is your discount rate, 10% annually. Kasi diba, per annum. So, that is 10% per annum. Tapos, period. No? The period is in 5 years. So, lagay mo dyan 5 years. So, annually. Compounding is also annually. Okay, lagay nyo lang dyan. Oh. Follow nyo lang guys. No? Follow nyo lang yan how to add these. Tapos, for you to know the present value, i-click nyo lang tong PV. Once ma-input nyo yan lahat, kompleto, click mo yung PV. And pag na-click yung PV, may lalabas dito na answer. So yun nga, can you type in the answer you got para ma-check ko kung tama? Ayan, I already have an answer. Yung iba sa inyo, host and panelist na yung response. Baka sabihin nila, gawa-gawa ko lang yung mga sagot nyo, no? But kung okay sa inyo to have it to everyone, okay lang din. Okay, so I'm getting answers here. Sabi ni Daisy, 620,000. Sabi ni Rayson, 607,000. Melita, 620,000. Romel, 620,000. Marilyn, 620,000. Stephen, 620,000. And the correct answer is 620,921.32. That is the answer. So if you are an investor, again, this is the synthesis or the conclusion from this calculation. So if you are an investor na gusto magkaroon ng 1 million pesos in 5 years, ang kailangan mo i-invest today is 620,000 in a portfolio that can earn 10% per annum with no additional investment. So if you want to put today, tapos you just let the portfolio grow by 10% per annum, di ka na magdadagdag in between, you just let that grow for 5 years. After 5 years, magkakaroon ka ng 1 million. Okay? Nagets ba? Okay, so I hope no, nasi-synthesize nito yung investment process. Kasi yung iba, invest lang, hindi naman nila alam kung lalago talaga yung pera nila to the target retirement fund nila, di ba? Sabi na, sige, let this go, pero is that specific? Is that measurable? Is that attainable? Is that realistic? Is that time bound? So, those questions can be answered like this. Okay, sige. Next, no? I expect na faster na, no? Kasi alam na natin yung tinawag niya. Next, let's calculate for the interim cash flow. Ito na naman yung problem. If you want to have 10 million in 10 years, how much do you need to invest monthly in a portfolio that can earn 10% per annum? Okay? Sige. Sige nga, let me check. Present value, ito yung pera na meron ko ngayon. May sinabi ba sa problem na present value or pera na i-invest mo yun? Meron ba? Sige, what is your present value? Okay, mahiya, no? No judgment here. What's your present value? Yung pera na meron ka ngayon na pwede mo i-invest. Sabi ni Marilyn, 0. Right? How about the others? Sabi ni Anne, 0. Sabi ni Romel, 0. Yes, you're correct. 0 yan. Walang sinabi sa problem. Next, interim cash flow. Ito yung i-invest mo regularly to that portfolio. What is the interim cash flow dito? Sinabi ba sa problem? Yeah. Yan. Sabi ng iba, no. Sabi ng iba, 0. No? But actually, hindi 0. No is the better answer kasi again, we are calculating for the interim cash flow. Ito yung hinihingi. This is the past variable. Okay. Next, what's your future value? Ano yung value ng portfolio mo na gusto mo? Okay, what's your future value? Yan, yun, bilis nila, no? They'll identify. Yes, you're correct. That is 10 million. Now, what is your discount rate or your expected rate of return sa portfolio that you want to invest in? Okay, what's your expected rate of return? Ayan, bibilis na mag-answer. Thank you so much. That means you're learning. Mahirap lang talaga yan sa first, but magigets mo na siya. Yes, that is 10%. You're correct. Next, what's your compounding periods? No? How frequent will you be investing in that fund? How long? How many months or how many years? Okay, yeah? Yes. You're correct, no? 10 years. Pero again, 10 years yung sinabi dito, pero yung tinatanong is how much to invest monthly. So para malaman natin yung monthly, i-multiply lang natin yung 10 years by 12 months, leaving us with 120 compounding periods. Okay? So, gets ba? No? So, how do you turn that to your TBM calculator? So, what you're going to do sa present value, 0. Payments, leave that blank kasi yun yung question. Future value, negative 10 million just to be algebraically correct. Your expected rate of return sa fund mo is 10% annually. Yung periods mo, since yung tinatanong is monthly ang i-invest, so you transform the 10 years into months, making this 120 monthly compounding monthly rin. Kasi monthly ka nag-i-invest eh. So, after you input all those data, click mo itong PMP na button or payments. Can you chat how much is needed to invest para magkaroon ka ng 10 million in 10 years in a fund that can earn 10%. Yan, bilis naman. May sagot na. Uy, ano nyo naman, chat nyo naman to everyone. Baka hindi nila makita. Patahiya siguro, no? Kasi host and panelist. Sabi ni Kristen, 48,000. How about the others? How much yung kailangan mong i-invest? How about the others? Isa lang ba yung may sagot? Sige na. Ano niya? Input niyo lang yan. Input niyo lang sa time value of money calculator. Sabi ni Stephen, 50,000. How about the others? Wow, medyo malaki, no? 310K. Okay, sige ha. When you answer questions as well, no? When you receive an answer, always check, no? Does it make sense? No? Kasi for example, yung answer nyo, if you're going to apply that to the problem, nagme-make sense ba siya with the given conditions? Sabi ni Daisy, does compounding refer to the period, monthly, or rate annually? So, for the period, since monthly yung tinatanong, convert mo yan to monthly. So, yung compounding niya rin is also monthly. But don't worry, no, hindi magagalaw yung percentage rate niya kasi yung naka-indicate dito, 10% annually. Yung dito lang is yung compounding niya, no, compounding niya, how frequent you invest. Okay, sige. This is the correct answer, 48,817.40. So, ibig sabihin, you need to invest 48,817 pesos per month in a portfolio that can potentially earn 10% per annum para magkaroon ka ng 10 million in 10 years. Okay? So, the question is, what if ganyan yung scenario mo? Gusto mo magkaroon ng 10 million in 10 years, pero yung investment mo is only 10,000 pesos. Feeling mo, laki na ng 10K, pero when you do the math, kukulangin pa pala. Then, baka hindi realistic yung goal mo na 10 million. Okay, so I hope you're realizing this already. Okay, next, second to the last na, again, this is me phoning the points para mas magiging sanay kayo sa pag-aaral ng time value ng calculation. Let's try to calculate now the future value. Ha? So again, tip, question mark na po itong future value. Okay. So ang question is, if you initially invest 100,000, tapos magdadagdag ka ng 60K each year for 10 years, what will be the estimated value of the retirement fund that earns an average of 8% per annum? Okay, sige. Ha? So what's your present value? Ano yung initial investment mo? Sige, can you please type? Yan, bilis. How about the others? What is your present value? Yung meron ka to invest right now based on this question. Yes, you are correct. That is 100K. Interim cash flow. Magkano po yung idadagdag mo? Kaya mong idagdag sa investment mo every year. Yes, that is correct. 60K. Please. Next. What future value? What's your future value? Yung value na gusto mong ma-achieve. Gets na nila question mark na none pa. Yes, that is correct. That's correct. That is question mark. Sinabi ko na kanina. Discount rate. Next, discount rate. This is the expected rate of return for that specific portfolio or that fund. What's your discount rate? Yes. Yan, mabilis siya, no? Mabilis siya makita, di ba? You're correct, 8%. Compounding periods. Ano yung compounding periods? Frequency ng pag-invest. How long? Yes, 10 years. Do you need to convert it to months? Kailangan pa ba siya i-convert into months? No, tama, because each year ka lang naman. Once a year ka na mag So no need to turn this compounding period to months. Keep it at 10 years. Alright, sige. If you're going to input that sa time value of money advance calculator, your present value is 100K. Willing ka magdagdag ng 60K per year in a fund that expected 8% annually. Tapos, period is 10 years annually. Again, don't forget this, annually. Compounding is also annually kasi annual ka rin din naman. Oh, may answer na. Bilis ah. Hindi pa ako tapos na gano'n sa time value mo. So, for you to calculate for your future value, click nyo yung F3. So, your future value will open. Okay, so what do you have? We have here 1.1 million. We have 1,085,000. We have 8 million. Meron din 1,085,000. Okay, so the correct answer is 1,085,086 pesos and 25. Okay, so again guys, yung technique talaga dito is once you arrive at a certain answer, try to ask yourself if that makes sense. If that makes sense. Kasi nga, if you're going to do it, no, like realistically, nag-make sense ba yung value? And you'll have a broad idea if within bounds yung value. Okay? I'm happy to see that you're learning. No? Next. Last. Ito, just to drive home the point. No? Let's compute for the compounding periods. First, the question is, if you invest 100K and add 5K monthly in a portfolio that earns an average of 10% per annum, how long do you need to save to have 1 million? Ito, di ba? Paminsan yung goal natin is to have our first million. Now, ang tanong, okay, you have a good goal, you want to earn your first million, but with what you're doing right now, ma-achieve mo ba yun? Let's say, meron kang 100K, dagdagan mo siya 5K monthly in a portfolio that earns 10%, malalaman natin ngayon how long do we need to save para magkaroon tayo ng income. Sige, what's your present value? How much do we have right now to invest based on the problem? What's your present value? Ayan. Yes, you're correct. That's 100K. Your interim cash flow, yung kaya mong i-invest regularly. What's your interim cash flow? Yes, you're correct. 5K. What's your future value? What's your future value? Yung gusto mong achieve? 1M. How about the others? Yes. Yan, bilis. You are correct. 1 million. Your discount rate, your expected rate of return. Bilis may mas nag-answer. What's your discount rate? May ano yung answer? Discount rate muna. Yes, you're correct. That's 10%. And compounding periods. No. What's your compounding period? Yes. Question mark. You're correct. Mga itong ano. Ito yung hinahanap natin, compounding periods. Okay, sige. If you're going to input that in the time value of money calculator, ito yung gagawin nyo. 100,000 present value, nagdag ka ng 5,000 per month. Future value mo is 1 million on a portfolio that earns around 10% per year. And you want to, uh, tinatanong, no, compounding periods. Pero ngayon, monthly, no? Kasi monthly yung payment mo, turn these periods into monthly, yung compounding date is monthly. Sige. What's your answer? Click nyo lang tong period. Input nyo lang to lahat, click nyo yung period. What is your answer? Meron na tayo here from Daisy. May answer na siya. How about the others? I'll give you time na. Yan. Host and panelists lang talaga sila mag-chat. Oh. Sige. I'm getting the same answers. No? 99.61 month and that is a correct answer. So, ibig sabihin, kung gusto mo magkaroon ng 1 million, tapos meron kang 100K to start investing, tapos magdadagdag ka ng 5K per month in a portfolio na on average, it generates 10% per annum, you'll need 99.61 months. Or yung iba dito, na-calculate nila per year, divide nila yan by 12, that is 8 years. Okay? We have here someone raising the hand. Meru. Sige nga, can you type your question? I acknowledge that you're raising your hand. Okay, type in your question lang. So, ano ba? Are you getting insights from this activity? No? I hope, ano ha, NAN, try to check yung ano, double check nyo, use the actual na, itong nakikita nyo sa screen, make sure na negative yung future value, yung pang-monthly, yung mga periods, and also compounding. Okay? Okay, so I hope guys you're getting insights from this and I hope from this activity it can solidify your investment strategies moving forward on a portfolio perspective. Okay? Alright, so with that, I hope you learned a lot. No, ako, sobrang tuwa ako when I learned about this and personally, this for me solidifies na yung ano ba, yung investment strategy mo is it is smart, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time. Okay? So, yeah, no? Because lahat ng factors na yun, it has to be a smart tool. Right? Ayan. Sige, meron nagko-comment pero ano talaga, host and panelist lang. Ayaw nila mag-interview. Alright. Yung challenge lang out there is to have an investment vehicle that gives out 8 to 10 per annum. So, actually, Ma'am Emelita, no, yung stock market, I think that can give you that level of returns. But you can only get that over a long period of time. Sabi natin 10, 20 years. So, I have another presentation. I have another presentation on the value of investing for the long term, no, but hopefully I'll be given a chance to present that in the future webinars. Yeah, sabi nila dito, mas clear na ang future goal. Ayan, I hope that can help you a lot. Okay, so yeah, I hope you learn a lot from that part. So that is just the first part, the planning stage, no? And a little bit about execution. Now, so I hope again, no, na you have a slight appreciation of the time value of money. It took us a bit of time, but for me, very valuable. Okay? So, may question dito na bakit daw kailangan future value is negative? Kasi again, it's all about algebraically. No? Kasi pag hindi mo siya magiging negative, paminsan yung present value mo magiging negative and hindi naman yun algebraically correct, di ba? So, and in the future din, no? Kasi kukunin mo siya in the future. So, uh, that's why you make it. Okay? Yeah. So, that's your time value of money. Now, ano lang, no? Let's try to speed things up moving from here. Yan. Sabi ni Sir J. Ian Mariones dito na try auto investing feature of FMSEC. Yes, we do have that. We have the voluntary investment program that enables you to invest automatically as long as may fund mo yung account ninyo. You can tell us na uh, to invest either 15th or 30th of the month. Your preferred na mutual fund or UITF or even FMP. I personally do that. Sobrang laking tulong. It's like building your wealth effortlessly. And lalo na pag meron na kayong plan like this, you'll make it more realistic. So thank you so much, JE and Energy. Now let's move on to the next part, which is actually execution. This is the planning stage. Yung execution is really all about asset allocation. Kasi based from this classic na research from Brinson, Hood, and D. Bauer, the determinants of portfolio performance, they found out that 94% of the differences in portfolio returns is because of asset allocation. Pag minsan nagle-level up na, it's not really about security selection, but asset allocation. And there are tons of ways for you to do this. Two major categories is the tactical, wherein for different economic conditions, let's say economic growth, mataas yung earnings, mataas yung business confidence, usually umaangat yung stocks. No? So if you're expecting that condition, then you can increase your exposure to stocks. Kasi stock prices tend to increase. And usually pag mataas yung economic growth, medyo yung bonds bumababa. You can consider to lighten your position sa bonds. Kasi anong nangyayari ba sa economic growth? Inflation risk increases, interest rate also increases. And when that happens, yung na-mention ko kanina, ano siya no? Inverse relationship. As interest rate increases, bond prices tend to decrease. So, lighten your position sa bond. So, ito siya, medyo tactical. Dapat alam mo yung economic cycles and market conditions. Yung iba, they prefer to have a fixed, no, na stock-bond ratio. Kasi para sa kanila, it limits the risk and likely provide higher long-term returns, no? Yung mga target date ng mga funds out there, ito yung ginagawa nila, fixed. But magbabago siya as the fund progresses in the years na active siya. Now, we can siguro, no, to start things off, we can start with the mga ginagawa ng mga expert like si Warren Buffett. Doon sa 2013 letter niya to Berkshire Hathaway investors, naka-indicate doon yung pamana niya doon sa wife niya, ito daw yung gusto niya mangyari. They wanted to know whatever be yung inheritance ng wife niya, 10% would be in government bonds, 90% in low-cost indexed funds. So this tells us how Warren Buffett is actually very optimistic when it comes to the US stock market. Pero, hindi rin overly optimistic kasi may exposure din siya sa government bonds. Si Benjamin Graham naman, yung coach or yung teacher ni Warren Buffett, he is also the author of The Intelligent Investor. Sabi niya, very simple, 50-50 stock bond allocation. 50% in stocks, 50% in bonds. Ganun lang, no? Fixed na allocation. Kung gusto mo man daw na mag-adjust, plus minus 25 lang. So, ibig sabihin, if you are not that positive with stocks, you can go as low as 25% stock exposure, increase your bond exposure to 75%. Kung medyo ano ka, optimistic ka sa stocks, you can go as high as 75%, 25% sa bonds. Now, si Ray Dalio, very ano siya, well-known na hedge fund manager. Meron siyang tinatawag na all-weather portfolio na popularized by Tony Robbins sa isang yan. And medyo sophisticated kasi nga hedge funds yung pinamanage ni Ray Dalio. Si Ray Dalio naman, 30% lang sa stocks, 40% in long-term bonds, 15% in intermediate-term bonds, tapos meron siyang exposure sa gold and commodities. Pero that's 7.5% Okay, so this is Ray Dalio's all-weather portfolio. Again, this is just me giving you ideas, guys, no, to start with. Si John Bogle naman, yung author ng Little Book of Common Sense Investing and the person who's really the prime mover of index funds, no? Medyo ano sa kanya, depende sa age mo. Sabi niya, your age in bonds, the rest in stocks. Kasi may equation siya na 100 minus your age. So your age in bonds, the rest in stocks. So ibig sabihin niyan, kung 30 years old ka, your age in bonds, 30% bonds, 100 minus your age, that is 100 minus 30, that is 70, 70% in stocks. So that is if 30 years old ka. But as you grow older, you lessen your risk exposure as you near retirement. Para pagdating mo ng 60 years old, again, your age in bonds, 60, 60% in bonds, the rest in stocks, 40% in stocks. Kasi by retirement age, mas importante na sa inyo yung stability and interest rates or regular income that you receive from bonds rather than the growth potential of the stocks. So again, kung bata ka pa, mas importante sa iyo yung growth potential ng stocks rather than the stability and regular income bonds. But that changes as you near retirement. So ito yung suggestion ni John Bogle. Right. Now, personally, this is how I diversify my portfolio. Ako kasi yung goal ko talaga personally is I want yung annual expenses ko, I want it to match with my passive income. So when I talk about passive income, that is from the dividends I get from my stocks, interest income I get from bonds, the growth potential of those as I buy and sell those assets as well. And for example, yung mga MP2, no, very familiar yan siya sa atin, na medyo low risk siya, but low expected returns as well. Now, yung napansin ko recently is that medyo exposure ko lang is nasa Philippines, so may own country bias ako. And what I'm trying to increase right now is yung exposure sa global para naman mag-increase naman yung may potential rin to earn sa global market. Unfortunately, pwede yan siya 2%. So, si Nero Medillo is again raising the hand. Sir, again, I acknowledge you. Please, ano na lang, if you have questions, sir, please type it in so I can address it. I don't think you can unmute me. Okay, sige, let's now again, this is my personal, but I'm not telling you na you should copy this kasi ito, this works for me and this might not work for you. Balik tayo doon sa tenet na investing is personal. Okay, so depende talaga yan. Some people might find this a little bit conservative. Okay, so iba-iba tayo. Now, whatever allocation you choose, no, I'm here to share with you na walang bulletproof strategy. So if for you, okay ka sa ganyan allocation between your bonds and stocks, you decide on it. And I encourage you to stick with it. Whatever be yung strategy na feel mo, gusto mo for yourself, mas achievable siya for your goal, you stick with it. Kasi no matter what stock bond allocation you choose, you will regret your decision at one point. This is me sharing with you caution, no? Na whatever you choose, no? Yung na-decide nyo na stock bond allocation, you will regret your decision at one point. Kasi for example, in a bear market, tapos heavily exposed to stocks, 70% in stocks, 30% in bonds. Nung bumagsak yung market, you will tell yourself, hey, ang dami ng nilagay ko sa stocks, sana konti lang. So because of that negative na experience, you liquidated your stocks, sabi mo, mag-bonds na lang ako, buti pa doon, may capital preservation, and may kukuha pa ako interest income from my investments. Pero pag nag-recover naman yung market, since mas marami ka na exposure sa bonds, konti na lang sa stocks, sasabihin mo naman sa sarili mo na, ay, sayang, konti lang yung nilagay ko sa stock. So, this is me telling you na whatever you choose, you will regret your decision at one point. And you have to keep a level mind and dapat hindi tayo emotional. If we decided that allocation, we stick with that allocation. And to compromise, no? Kailangan natin embrace yung humanity natin. How do we embrace humanity? For example, you decided on a 60-40, 60-40 na allocation, 60% stocks, 40% bonds. Now, in a good market, no, we need to adjust. No? Bigyan natin ng, baka kasi human tayo, we experience emotions. So, these allocations need not to be precise. Bigyan mo yung sarili ng plus minus 10%. Let's say, umangat yung market ng 10%. So, since 10% up yung portfolio mo, yung stocks mo, this will become 70-30. 70% stocks, 30% bonds kasi umaakit yung market. Now, if this happens, what you can do is to actually take profit. No? Pag umaangat yung market, you take profit para ibalik mo siya dito sa 60%. Okay? Yung na-take profit mo, ilagay mo sa bonds para bumalik siya to 40%. Now, in the times na negative naman yung market, bumaba yung down yung market, no? Negative 10% siya. So, naging 50-50 na siya. 50% bonds, 50% stocks, 50% bonds kasi down yung stock mo. And when that happens, what you can do is, if you have profits dito sa bonds, you can sell that. Or, if you have extra funds, magdagdag ka sa stocks para ibalik mo siya dito sa 60-40 na allocation. Okay, so that is my point. You embrace your humanity, need not precise, give yourself room, plus minus 10%. And that is the right way to go. Kasi as the market is rallying, that's the time you take profit. When the market is down, that is the time that you add to your position sa mga magagandang stocks. Baliktad yung ginagawa ng iba. Habang umakit yung market, doon pa sila bumibili. Tapos pag bumaba na, doon din sila nagbibenta. And that's your recipe for losses. So again, keep this, no? Embrace your humanity. Yun. We're already sa execute na part and very quick na lang, no? After you execute through asset allocation, you evaluate your portfolio performance versus a benchmark. Ito madali lang to, no? Kasi again, meron namang charts sa First Metrosec platform. Let's say, you're comparing the actual performance of the index against, let's say, invest ka sa FMETF or may index fund ka or you're invested in a actively managed equity fund. So, you try to gauge your performance based on these benchmarks. Okay? So for example, ikaw nagmamanage ka ng sarili mo, you buy and sell stocks on your own. Pero pag tingin mo sa portfolio performance mo, you're underperforming the market or you're underperforming the index. Nagsayang ka pa ng oras sa pag buy and sell, pag-analyze, nag-underperform ka lang naman sa index. Might as well invest ka sa index fund kasi it's better performing than you. And if you're better performing naman than the index, then that tells you that you're doing a good job. Okay? Kasi nare-reward yung extra effort with the performance. But if you are doing something na it takes you a lot of effort, tapos underperforming ka pa, doon ka na lang sa passive investment sa support index. And yeah, maraming metrics actually, but for now, you just evaluate your portfolio performance with the benchmark. So, you can compare charts using the platform. Now, with that, again, no, sa portfolio management, dalawa lang yan. Either active ka mag-manage, you buy your own stocks and participate in bond issuances, or passive, no? You can buy mutual funds or UITFs. For example, bili ka ng equity or index fund plus bond funds, pwede yan. But the good thing about this is either active investor ka or passive investor ka through funds, pwede yan siya kung step-by-step. Kasi you can trade stocks in a few taps. Download mo lang yung app namin, you can buy and sell on the go. Tapos, within the platform, you have trading guidance pa talaga. Marami kami research report for long-term investors, fundamental investors, to short-term traders with our traders playbook report. And not only that, no, you can participate in bond issuances as well, such as your retail treasury bonds. Like last time, no, for as low as 5,000 pesos, 6.25% annual interest rate for the next 5 years. So I encourage you to avail of that. And madali lang din if you want to invest in retail treasury bonds, punta lang kayo sa treasury website, fill up the order form, nominate First Metrosec as your settlement bank, and it will redirect you to a platform namin wherein i-confirm yung order mo with your amount, username, password. Then after that, you'll get a notice of successful payment in your registered email. Tapos pag malist na yung bond, nasa platform. And not only that, if hindi mo kaya mag-trade ng stocks and bonds on your own, pwede naman kayo mag-invest indirectly through the different professionally managed funds available sa FundSmart. You have our sister company, First Metro Asset Management, ALM, Bill Equity, Atram, Sun Life Asset Management, and Manulife Investment Management. Most of their mutual funds and YTFs present in the platform. And the best part here is that if you're going to do it through First Metrosec, you can start investing for as low as 1,000 pesos. And zero sales charge pa talaga. So, ibig sabihin, pag nag-invest kayo ng 10,000, go 10,000 you invest. Wala nang sales charge, which you get that if you go through traditional channels. And again, no, just to emphasize, multi-assets in First Metrosec, you can invest directly in stocks, bonds, REITs, ETFs, and even funds. So lahat yan pwede sa First Metrosec as we aim to be an all-in-one investment platform. Na if either you're an active investor or passive investor, then and if you want to open an account, no, all you need to do is to download our mobile app. Just complete the form, submit one valid ID, proof of address, any utility bill will do, proof of bank account, tapos use the code, no, when they ask you how did you learn about us, please use the code portfolio. This will enable you to have an initial funding of only 1,000 pesos. And once you have an account with us already, you can access your account to your desktop, laptop, and even your mobile phones. And yung ano namin, no, I think our efforts have been rewarded. May marami kaming awards from Best Stock Brokerage House, Best Online Trading Platform, and Most Innovative Online Broker. May awards din kami na 6 years in a row namin natanggap. And most importantly, yung mga collaboration namin with the likes of Bureau of Treasury for recognizing our market reputation efforts. And if you'd like, no, if you learn a lot from my session, feel free to invite us for a free session. Sa tingin niyo makakatulong sa iba, just send us an email at marketeducation@firstmetrosec.com.ph. And we have multiple offices across the Philippines, from Metro Manila, Cebu, and Davao. So if nasa Davao po kayo, nasa Abiza Mall po yung office namin, and you will likely see us as your representatives there. So in summary, no, I think I extended a little bit of time. No, I apologize for that, but I think marami kayo natutunan. So in summary, risk is the probability that our investment's expected return will deviate from the actual return. So dapat prepared tayo to take on those risks, and we need to adjust our investment strategy based on those risks natin. And the best way to do that is to execute our plan, which is our portfolio management process. Una, we plan for our investment goals. We learn about the time value of money. I hope you enjoyed the activity, though it took a little bit of time. Sa execution naman, yung asset allocation niyo, that's very important. And when you evaluate, always benchmark your performance against the index. And no matter if you're going to do active or passive investing, pwede yan siya through First Metrosec. So we'd like to hear from you, no? I hope you learned a lot from this session, and we'd like to see your feedback. I encourage you to scan this QR code para malaman ko rin how I can further improve, or what can I still add to the presentation, or did I do well from my lecture? Did you learn a lot ba? Or all those things, no? Please take a screenshot of this and scan this QR code and use the code portfolio for the account payment process. Okay, so yeah, please take a screenshot. I'll give you 5 seconds for this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So I also encourage you to follow our Facebook page, the First MetroSec. You can look us up at Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, TikTok, X, and YouTube. You can just scan this QR code. It will take you to Linktree wherein makikita mo lahat ng links namin. Again, I'll give you 5 seconds to take a screenshot of this. Right, and that leads us to our Q&A. So I think we already have questions here from our attendees. Uh, Again, if you need to reach out to me, you can see here what my work number and my work email address. If you like me to present this to your company, school, organization, feel free to invite me directly or on social media. You can find me here as well. You can scan this QR code and you can connect. Okay, so with that, I'll be able to answer your questions already. Okay, unahin natin itong nandito sa Q&A. Okay? So, here is a question from an anonymous attendee. How much po do you allot monthly on your investments? So, again, no, whatever answer I give, that will be irrelevant to you. No? Kasi, yung answer ko is based on my personal na investment strategy, my financial capacity. No? But if I can give a number on it, I cannot give an exact number. If I can give a percentage, no, para we'll have a on my end, no, based sa aking financial status, I am able to invest around 30% of my monthly income for investments. Okay? Yeah. But to start with, you can start with 10, 15%. Tapos, pag medyo okay na yung ano mo, you can increase your percentage for investments. So I hope I answered your questions. Here, question ni Nero Medillo. Kanina pa siya nag-raise ng hand niya. Will this be uploaded on YouTube? Yes. So, um, if you want to watch it again, please watch it there. If you want to share it to your friends, kasi may natutunan kayo from the activities natin, from the discussion, so feel free to share the link. It will be uploaded in our YouTube siguro within the week or next week, depende sa marketing team namin. Alright, so I hope I answered your question. Another question here, wala na sa Q&A panel. Here's another question from Emelita, directed lang to the host and panelists. So, is there a tool to be able to evaluate my own strategy versus the index? Yes. So, what you're going to do, i-check mo yung yearly performance ng portfolio mo. Let's say, puro stocks. So, i-evaluate mo yung performance ng stock portfolio mo. Idagdag mo na lahat, no? All the capital gains you receive, all the losses, no? Incur mo rin doon. Tapos, the dividends that you earn. So, plus and minus lang lahat ng gains and losses. Then after that, based from that performance of your total fund, you benchmark that against the index. Kasi again, the thought is, you are actively choosing stocks because you think you can outperform the index. Kasi yung index, average expected returns yun eh. Diba? But the question is, okay, if you are outperforming the index, if you're outperforming the index, then you're doing a good job. Pero if you are underperforming the index, tapos doon sa pagpili mo pa lang ng stocks, it took you some brain cells already, why would you, parang hindi effective yung strategy kung nag-underperform. Kasi hindi na-compensate yung extra effort mo for you to have an alpha against the index. So, mas efficient yung pag-invest mo na lang sa index fund or FMETF kasi it generated you more returns by just investing passively. Diba? So, yan lang. Weigh it na, depende sa inyo. So, ayun. Further questions? I don't think I missed. Meron pa ba? Did I miss any questions? Wala na. Alright, sige. Second call for questions. Alright, I understand na baka sa inyo may nahihiya, no? So that's the reason why I prepared this final slide. Uh, for you guys na nahiya to ask in a crowd setting like this one, like in a public Zoom call, if you want to discuss personally, like one-on-one tayo, I prepared here, no, parang link towards a way for you to book a consultation for me. Again, don't worry, this is for free. This is part of our service. This I'd like to extend this to you, to all our attendees tonight. So you can just scan this QR code. It will take you to Calendly and you can book your meetings there. Ano ko lang sa inyo is that yung consultation meetings are only usually maximum 30 minutes lang and I can only cater maximum 4 meetings in a day kasi I also have other jobs. I mean, I have another responsibilities and deliverables as well. Part lang ko ng trabaho ko. So, 2 hours maximum per day. But this is available to you Monday to Saturday, even though my my work hours is just Monday to Friday, but I'm okay to extend Saturday if that will fit your schedule. But yun lang, limit is 4 meetings. Pahinga din tayo. Ngayon, if you want to ask anything about your portfolio, review ba yan, or investment na ideas ninyo, you want me to look up at certain stock na you're interested to invest in, gusto mo magpa-check ng optimal entries and take profits, anything, no? Kaya nga tawag din ask me anything. So, you can book a session with me. Again, that's a free service for all of you. So, yeah. So, last call for questions. Meron pa ba? Right, wala na. So, thank you so much, everyone. And I extended a little bit of time, mga 15 minutes, but I hope it was worth your time. And I hope I gave you a lot of insights tonight. And I want to see those in the feedback form as a intellect rate. And yeah, keep on joining our learning sessions and we'll make it most of your time. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Enjoy your dinners ahead. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye. Happy investing.